Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Phoning It In. I'm Michael Carvelli, joined by Nick Arthur and John Terry. It's weird, guys. I still have this feeling of like having to play to the camera now that we're doing this on Zoom and it's going to YouTube and stuff. But yeah, it's been I don't know. It's been a busy week. Been a good week. We started the week with some good news. We went to YouTube and saw that our subscriber count has doubled since we started doing the.
Just great news to start the week.
Yeah. So a lot of people, we have gotten a lot of really good feedback about that. We've been wanting to try the Zoom thing for a minute, and it's
just imagine when we have Cody on here. How much more people are
ratings will go through the roof. The road to 1 million just takes off as soon as Cody gets back.
You know what I realized just now? The people have never seen Marlo.
Oh my gosh.
They've not seen her before.
Buddy, come here. Drag him by the head over here. Ow. Come here.
This is great for those not watching on YouTube,
right,
by the way.
That's the thing. It's like we have that one.
No, but that's what we do. We
right. It entices people to subscribe.
Right, exactly, because they
You're really teasing this cat, by the way.
So while you're gathering,
I got him.
cat,
Here he is.
Remember,
Look at
putting
him.
it in.
Oh my gosh!
There he is.
Look at that.
Marlo, you're on the podcast, buddy. We're our first animal pet.
Oh wow.
Oh.
What a moment.
Do you have
I kind of feel like the scene in The Office where it's like, I am now cutting off Phyllis's head with a chainsaw. I want to start saying things about John's cat, so those that are listening on iTunes and other places that can't see, we're describing some.
John,
sort
stop
of
it! Don't do that. Don't do that to the cat.
Why are you pulling out your cat's hair? What are you doing?
That's just rude.
Anyways,
will not approve.
That's it. Look, guys, if you don't realize this, he's on the table now. I am just trying to promote YouTube. So right. I'm trying to get people. Nope, that's your treats, buddy. Here, hey, go over there. Good.
There we go.
I'm just trying to get people to watch YouTube.
It's
working. 6 subscribers.
Also, we need to welcome John back from Austria. I think when we last
that's
spoke,
true. He
was still in Europe. So here he is back in Chicago. How was the trip home? Any hiccups on the flight or getting through security?
Did the name in the file come back at all or anything?
Dude, I was good, man. I tell you what though, I didn't sleep. So that night I ended up not sleeping the entire night. I did have another beer after I talked to you guys.
Love it.
And I stayed awake. For the entire flight home. To Frankfurt. Frankfurt.
Okay.
And then I got on that Frankfurt flight and fell asleep so fast. I don't even remember pushing back from the gate. I was just out cold.
When did you wake up? Just over, Quebec or something?
We were in the air, and the guy sitting next to me lost an air pod and was jostling around and woke me up.
Yeah.
Were you sleeping with your mask on?
Yes, I did. But I was only around U.S. soccer folks, so I felt pretty safe. But we're probably an hour into the 9-hour flight or 7-hour flight, whatever the hell it was. And then I just went back. Went to the bathroom and went back to sleep. I think I slept for probably 4 or 5 hours on the flight.
Not bad.
Solid. And then I watched that movie, Carvelli, the Chicago.
Oh, Chicago 7.
Yeah, Chicago 7. The guy next to me was also watching Chicago 7. So that was awesome. Just an amazing film. Great film.
It was really good.
And yeah, it wasn't that bad of a flight, honestly. It was
jet lag wasn't too bad.
Nah, dude, I got home
just because you were so insanely tired.
I got home at 1:30
the way to do it.
And I had work to do, which actually worked out perfectly. So I ended up working for 3 or 4 hours and doing a couple things around the house. And I think I went to bed around 8 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then was good to go. So it honestly, all in all, and then I got my COVID test back and I was negative. So a COVID-free trip to Austria, which was spiking as I left. So yeah,
relative to their standards, I'm sure.
Right, but it was actually one of the worst spikes in Europe, though.
Wow.
Oh, really?
But yeah, no, all's good, man. I did feel a little nervous on the flight to Frankfurt from Vienna because it was packed flight and I wasn't sitting next to someone who had been tested or whatever. But it was fun. Everyone was wearing a mask. I don't, I'm nervous to fly domestically in the United States just because we're full of a bunch of idiotic people in this country. and I'm really nervous about that. So I'm getting on a plane in about a week and a half.
Fun.
So we'll see how that goes. But we'll see.
Yeah.
See what happens. So
I'm glad to hear it. And honestly, we've brought this up. I can't remember at this point if it was brought up on the show or just in conversation, but so nice for you to get that out of the way, get that first game done with. Now you can, whatever happens in this next one you've got to go to should be cake compared to.
I feel so much better about things now. Like it's nice to I think the next game we have will be a little more like chaotic because we'll have I'll have a visiting team to worry about. I'll have a little more things to worry about, but it just it did feel good to just get it over with and relatively unscathed. A few mess ups, but all in all, a pretty good time. So
just constantly on defense.
Dude, he's relentless, man.
So I want to say, so you're back in Chicago, like we said, and you sent us a photo of your place earlier today, and Nick and I noticed you guys the house looks great.
Thank you. So the best
Mariel
part,
did work while you were gone.
Yo, she handled it so clean. Everything's unpacked. We do have a big pile in the basement of stuff.
Right.
But man,
that'll get to where we're going eventually with this conversation, though.
It is
an
absolute all-star. And then my sister came up this weekend to quarantine here before going home. That makes no sense, but her roommate is one of the people who, I hope she doesn't listen. I just make
I do love that your sister has gone from Atlanta to Chicago to quarantine before going to Atlanta.
Well, she drove.
She drove.
Yes, yeah.
But she drove 11 hours so she wouldn't kill my parents when she goes home for Christmas. So,
right.
So that's been fun. So we've been playing, speaking of Marlo meets Hudson for the first time. Night one, Marlo draws blood. It's been interesting. But no, so we cleaned and stuff. So the house does look good, man. We just got to get some furniture in here. And so hopefully we'll get some on Black Friday. And we got a U-Haul that we got to drive up from Atlanta. But it
feels like home now?
Yeah. We're still paying rent on the other place, which sucks. But yeah, it feels like home.
Are you guys able to find somebody to
Yeah,
when I left Charleston to come here to work in Morgantown, they would not let me sublet it to anybody or anything like that. So I was in a weird spot.
So we are able to sublet, and we're trying to sublet. It's been listed now for a month. The problem is it's who wants to go live in Chicago right now when everything's closed? The lure of the apartment is it's near the train. No one's taking the train. So we knew when we bought this house that we might just have to eat it.
Right.
Which is what we might have to do. And it just, whatever. It sucks, but I'm not going to dwell on it. They're not negative. To dwell on
it's worse to have that overlap because you ended up getting a great house at a good price. And, obviously if it wasn't the most appealing house situation, you maybe would have worried more about the rent overlap and considered that more. So
right, exactly.
It all worked out.
And I'm going to be traveling so much in the spring that I might have been traveling so much it would have been hard to get a house. Yeah. So
right.
It's fine. It's just, it's good. So yeah, it's all good, but we have a development on the house. So
about this.
What was it? 2 weeks ago, the first time we did the Zoom call,
right
before we started, Nick found some old pictures of the house when it was listed 2 times ago. And we saw some pictures of the man cave in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
So we have no furniture. When I say we have no furniture, we currently have a living room and dining room that has a futon, a coffee table, and a TV. That's it. We don't have enough furniture for the basement. My man cave is way far off. Although Mariel the other day mentioned that she wanted my man cave to happen. So I jokingly said, hey, if we can buy a 75-inch TV for our living room,
thinking small,
then mount it on the wall. It'll be beautiful. I'll move the 65-inch TV down to the basement, and I'll just have a man cave. I'll move the futon down to the basement, and I'll just play all my video games there. I'll watch my sports there. You don't have to worry about it.
You'll buy the big living room set for upstairs in the living room.
I'll get the leftovers.
Yep.
said it as a joke, and she was like, "Oh, I mean, yeah, that I wouldn't complain."
Nice.
There you go.
So we're in. So today,
We're in.
so today, before we had Marlo and Hudson standoff, Evan, who you guys met at my wedding, married,
Great guy.
great guy, excellent boyfriend.
You a dad right now? What is that?
The man. I was mapping out my TV situation, and I got to thinking, would it be better to have one TV downstairs? Because once you get like above, like a 75-inch TV is not cheap. Like that gets like, it gets expensive.
Looking at $1,000 for a good one.
right. What about like 250-inch TVs?
Yeah, you need multiple.
And you go side by side.
Little dual, yep.
Part of me thinks that's the play.
I think you
But
need
what
that.
do you guys think? Like, it would have been better just to have one giant TV downstairs on the wall.
Well, first of all, you just negotiated with your wife, I believe, getting the 65-inch.
They
Look,
had the 65.
She won't remember that because I don't think the key here is I don't think she cares about.
Are you in a soundproof room right now?
No, she's grocery shopping.
Okay.
I don't think she cares about the upstairs TV. I just think she wants me downstairs. No video games upstairs.
Well,
Very understandable, to be honest.
yeah, if I may, I think that she is probably in the same category as most wives in that they want the nice stuff, the new stuff to be in like the entryway area, the main floor where, visitors are going to see.
Yeah.
Right.
And, I'm sure you guys are probably not in a situation right now where you're going to just buy new furniture for every single room. So
Nada.
at least in the interim, focus your new purchases on upstairs, and then you can piece together a little man cave downstairs. I'm sure that's probably her thinking.
Right. Exactly. But my thought is I can just leave the 65-inch TV up here and then just purchase my own for the man cave, 2 smaller TVs, because it would be cheaper. The point is here, I did the pricing out. 2 like 50 or 55-inch TVs is much cheaper than one 75-inch TV. Much cheaper.
You need to make this decision fast with Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
That's why I'm asking you. I need help.
I think you definitely should do multiple TVs. I think that will come in handy so much.
Yeah. Video games on one, Aston Villa on the other.
Right.
Even just having, multiple games on at the same time. You want to put one on each TV. As someone who until about 6 months ago was a 2 TVs in the living room guy for about 3 years. Big fan of 2 TVs in the living room.
Okay, so maybe we're going with 2 TVs.
For what that room is going to be for you, I think that's the move.
Okay, right.
If
Because I'm not going to be watching like movies down there.
If this was the living room, I would maybe say no.
And economically, it's the right choice now too, because instead of buying a 75-inch for upstairs and taking the 65 downstairs, where you're spending, like you said, like $1,000, you're
cheaper.
instead keeping the 65 upstairs and buying 2 50s downstairs.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: if I ever decide it's a terrible idea, and I ever want one big TV, well, we can repurpose the 55-inch TVs. One can go in the kitchen, on the wall above the breakfast nook. The other can go in our bedroom where we're just sporting 32
The
inches.
one could be a outdoor back patio one for half the year.
There you go.
So I'm just saying there are options. So it sounds like you've convinced me. So here's the second question. She said this and she was not joking, but do I confirm this with her or do I just purchase them? Because how fun would it be?
You do both. You do both.
How fun would it be if they just showed up?
You should be like, hey, what do you think about this TV? What do you think about these TVs for the man cave?
Always be closing. Assume the sale.
That's what you do.
These are mentalities that exist among successful salespeople. So you absolutely, it's always important to set proper expectations in sales as well. So I do not recommend having the TV show up out of the blue. That's not going to work. However, to approach Mariel and say, hey, like we talked about me kind of putting together the man cave, here's what I'm thinking. I was looking at these 2. I think these would be good for this reason. You're just fully confident, assuming, and if she pushes back really hard on that, that's okay. That's a lot better than buying them out of the blue and then, being in big trouble.
Yeah. I also would like to make the potential point of saying, maybe going to her and saying, like, find a 50-inch that you like, right? And then find a 75-inch, like the most expensive 75-inch that you can find.
Ooh, I like that. I like
And
that.
be like,
Yeah, I was
looking at
thinking
stuff-
about that 75.
Looking at stuff for the man cave, I saw this for this wild price. I know we talked about 75
Yeah.
before, but what if we just kept the 65 upstairs and then I went with these two 50s?
Perfect.
Just make
I'm
sure she
so
doesn't listen
pumped.
to this. Just
Yeah, she's at home too, so I gotta start being a little quieter. But no, that's a good call. I think it makes sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
man, 2
agree.
TVs. Holy
I'm
shit.
excited.
And then we just keep adding to it.
Well, this is what I want. That's where I want to take this next.
1 TV, 2 TV, 3 TVs, 4 TVs.
You
We
know,
got March
hey,
in Chicago.
Mario, the
Whoa,
guys are coming in
TV.
for March, and they were looking, and we were going to rent a center another TV, but it was going to be like $300 to rent it. But look at this one on sale for $450. I'm just going to go ahead and we don't have to keep it. I think one of them might keep it. And at the end, there you go. Now I got 3.
Yeah,
I got 3.
I'm glad you brought it up because I know you wanted to get a feel for the TV thing, and if you have any more to talk about that, we can. I would also like to hear more about what you are wanting to do with, because it's a nice little basement you guys have. It's finished already. Like, you don't have to do any of that crap with it. I'm very excited to hear what you are planning to do because we've actually, when we talked about the tour that you're apparently about to give us.
Oh,
again,
wow. Okay. He's going to the closet and he's muted.
Yeah.
He's really worried about, revealing secrets.
It's very loud outside, so I'm in the closet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
I thought this closet had no clothes in it, but again, for our viewers on YouTube, I walk in here expecting a really empty closet because the last time I came in here, there was nothing in this closet. This is before I left for Austria.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's just packed with
Look at
stuff.
that.
There's no room to sit.
Oh no.
Wow.
Anyway, so I'm gonna sit on the ground here.
What was I saying though? Oh, there's a lot you can do with it. When you gave us the little tour, we were like, oh, this would be kind of a cool little basement for a potential impromptu March festivities if we need to.
So I'm thinking.
I want to know what you got planned for it.
Yeah, so there are a couple things. One, the TVs are crucial.
Yeah.
I would eventually like a surround sound system in there. So like the primary TV has a good sound system. The problem is I think I'm going to need like some rugs or something because it's a tile floor and I think the sound is just going to echo like crazy.
Interesting.
So we'll see on that. The second thing I want down there is a bar. I want a bar with a kegerator that I want to build. I've saved all these bottle caps through the years of like all the beers I've had. I have all these bottle like beer labels that would be great to go under the bar. I want to have like a kegerator with my own beer on it, a little mini fridge, a beer fridge. So that's also crucial. I think like
was going to be the thing.
Incredible.
That was going to be the first thing I was going to ask you about.
So definitely,
because I could not remember if they already had a bar down there or not.
No, I'm not sure if there was, but I want one with like a wet bar. So the water line comes in the house on one of the walls, so it'd be easy just to run a water line over there to have a little sink. Really nice, classy bar is what I want. I also, because Mariel is going to get the office up here, my office is going to go down there as well. So Perfect. I do want a little bit of an office setup that I can see the TVs. We got the bar there. It's going to be this like cool little hangout. And then the other thing I want, a pool table is kind of unrealistic. I think so is like a ping pong, all that stuff. I just don't know. There's not enough space. The ceiling's low. I'd love like a little putting green.
Mm-hmm.
How much fun would that be? Like a little putting green that you could like move some obstacles around and like try some different shit. So that's like long term. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know.
I like it.
That's the long term goal here. Obviously, there's a lot between that and where it's at now, right. A storage area. Like, and I love like the bar. I'd love to be able to like brew some beer down there too. And like that's my little beer brewing area. So really, I have plans just to take over the basement. I hope she doesn't listen to this because then I'm really showing my cards. But
yeah.
Does your basement open up into the backyard area down there?
So it does, but it's like a back door under the porch. It's not
It's
really
like
a man cave because the only way to leave the house to go to the garage is through that door. So you have to go through the man cave. So it's always going to be infiltrated.
I was just thinking, I don't know if you guys plan on doing like fire pit outside, grill, kind of combo from there, but it sounds like the main exit to the outdoor area is from upstairs.
Right. Yeah. It's like a back door underneath the deck. Like it's nothing to write home about.
Gotcha.
Exciting though, man. The bar stuff. That's every guy's dream to have, and you're so close. I envy you.
It's. I think like the key is it's it's not gonna happen overnight. I just gotta keep eyes on the prize, but I do want to like plan for it so I don't like. I want to know like what type of furniture I want down there because like I don't want to buy like okay the hand-me-down futon, that's great, that'll work, but I don't want to buy a couch. Like I want to buy the couch one day, even if it means waiting a couple years. Do with the futon for now, lawn furniture, whatever. So
I like it. Yeah, I think there are those certain things with.
What do you guys? Well, hold on. What do you guys think? Like, if you could have a man cave, or like what's like the crucial items in your man cave?
Perfect. I do think the bar area is definite for sure.
It's a must.
Yeah. If we're talking like I've got, especially if we're talking about a world where I have like a good budget to work with here.
Right. Yeah.
Really put in what I want. That I think there are two ways you can go with the TV setup. And it's either the way that we are saying you should go, which is the multiple TV setup, or it is a like a legit theater style setup.
Right. Like 100-inch TV, like
either that or even like a projector.
Right.
Like
I do also have that projector. It's not a good projector, but it might work for a basement with no light. The one I brought to March a couple years ago.
Yeah. I think you either go with like the multiple TVs or you do like the giant, like massive TV or projector or something
with like the screen coming down through the ceiling
and get like a bunch of couches, a bunch of seating for like everyone to come and just sit and watch like a game or watch a movie or do stuff like that. I think that's probably the direction that I would go. Mm-hmm. And then if I was getting to a point where I was like wanting to watch a second game, I would get a TV from like in my office or in my bedroom or something like that and bring it in. But I think there's a lot that you can go with though. I like the idea of the putting green. I think that's really good.
Yeah. The putting green is a if the pool table is just not an option because of space, whatever it is, the putting green adds a nice sport touch there. The other thing I was going to mention is a dartboard. I'm a big dartboard guy.
I would go with like not like a crappy Nerf hoop. I would go with like a little basketball hoop though, like something to shoot baskets on. Even just to Fisher Price, just get over there and just on your knees, just getting some dunks in. That wouldn't be a bad approach either. But no, yeah, for me it's if I'm picking the one thing that I'm investing my most time and money and energy is to make sure that it's quality. It's either the couch or the bar. Yeah. To me, it's one of those two things. Like the putting green is nice to have, but like I would get something out of like Sky Mall for like less than $100 and call it a day. Yeah. I think you're muted, John.
Yeah. I'm thinking again an opportunity for our YouTube listeners to watch me talk while I'm muted. I'm thinking like I make the putting green, get like some green carpet and like
okay.
Not invest any type of money into it.
Got it. Yeah, because I just want that rich, thick mahogany bar with just iconic. The special tap that you order, and you maybe you get your own like John Terry Brewing Company logo on that tap. I mean, that would just
Boomtown Brewing.
Boomtown Brewing. That would be so cool, so epic.
Yeah, because like while we talk about like that kind of stuff being cool, I don't know how often if I'm being honest, I don't know how often I would use like a putting green. Like I would love it, especially at first. But I could see it definitely being a thing where like you do it when you have people over, you know what I mean? Kind of like how we would use when we were in Denver and we had that place. Like we used the pool table a lot because we were all like up a lot and hanging out and just wanted something to do. But if I was just by myself down there watching a game or something, I don't know how often I'd be putting. I mean, especially, whatever, but
that's a very good point. Yeah,
definitely something that you don't use a lot of resources in.
Yeah, dartboard is at least on a wall, so it doesn't take up floor space. Putting green, though, is on the floor. It could cause like some logistical walking around issues.
Yeah. I don't know. I love it though. It's great. I'm so excited for that. It's gonna be. I'm excited to see what the space looks like by the time you're done. But
Me too. We'll find out in like a decade.
So we have one other thing. Nick, you brought this up to us the other day. You sent us a tweet from somebody. And the tweet basically says some great beers. And then it has a list of like the beers where you have a beer and it's just like a nice, great experience, relaxing, whatever you want to call it. Should we go through those or should we get in? Let's go through some of these. So the first one they have is the airport beer, the beer that you drink like at the airport bar. The kitchen beer while she's getting ready. The hotel balcony at 7 p.m. beer. The straight to the pub from work beer. The Sunday afternoon beer garden beer, and the Friday before Christmas beers. I would pair the Friday before Christmas beers with the Wednesday before Thanksgiving beers.
Yep. And I might even get even more generic and just say like the holiday beers. It's just something about going and picking, if it's winter and it's Christmas and you want to go pick out that, whether it's that Oktoberfest with cinnamon on the rim for Thanksgiving, or if it's that winter porter for Christmas, those, and you're just around family and friends and there's Christmas music playing or there's a Christmas movie on the TV, taking a sip of that, it hits different. And that's how I'm describing all these. They just, they hit different. It's just a different feeling.
I don't. That's a great way to put it. The beers that hit diff. What are you guys? What are some of those for you?
I would just say really quickly along the holiday beer. For me, it was always drinking a beer like when you're at home or when like the first like bowl game starts and you know that like bowl season has begun, and it's some like who gives a shit bowl in Detroit, Michigan, and whatever. But you're drinking that beer and you're watching Western Kentucky battle Toledo, and there's just something. For me, that was my holiday beer.
Yeah.
It's just
my March Madness beer and my first Super Bowl beer also fall into that category.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was gonna say so obviously we'll not get to experience it this year, but my big thing when I'm at the Coliseum for a basketball game and I get my food and we eat before the game. Not they have like the restaurants and stuff in there, or not restaurants, but you know what I mean. On the way to the seat, I grab a beer, get in the seat. The first beer, like as the game is getting underway when you're in the arena, is great as well. Also, like if you want to do like football tailgate beers, like the first one you get there.
Man, even that first baseball game in the summer where you get that tall boy. I like the category you're entering here. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that sporting event beer, the first one is always great. Because especially like a baseball game where you sneak out of work a little early.
Yeah, and you get the beer before the game, and it's like this is the kickoff to this evening.
Yeah,
100%. I love the happy hour beer when like a long day of work and you walk into the bar, and I haven't done that since I've been in Chicago. But I remember it so vividly in Washington. We get off work, we go to the bar up the street, and they come up. What do you want? You're like, I just want a beer, just a cold beer, and they look at you like, I just give me one of those, and they bring you this cold beer and it has foam, and you just take that big sip, and
it's the weekend now. It's Friday. It's happy hour.
It could be a Wednesday. It doesn't matter. You're tasting that smooth nectar of beer. Of just fermented sugars, and love it.
Yeah, it's something that wasn't on that list, but something that I text you guys about frequently, and it became a thing for me, obviously, in college, and that is the shower beer.
Yeah.
It is one of the most iconic beers you can have. And what is a shower beer, you ask? It is a beer you take with you when you go in and you take a shower, and you've got a lovely little ledge up in your shower there. You can move the shampoo, I don't care. You put the beer right there. Water's not getting in it. And you're just taking a shower. You probably have some tunes playing on your Sonos as well in the bathroom. You're jamming. You're probably getting ready to go out on the town and meet up with some friends and watch some football. You're just getting a little pregame beer in. and you're just taking a few sips every now and then. And that to me is one of the best. And the other I'm going to nominate is the beach beer. You know, on vacation, you're maybe you've been in cold weather for a long time. You've gone to warm weather. It's 82 degrees. You get on that lawn chair. You take off your shirt, and you crack open that Corona with the lime. That's a good one.
I was gonna say, really, the first one of any like vacation or trip, anything where like you've had a long journey to get where you're going, and you finally are able to just like kick back and relax and just really.
You know, you've traveled across the country to visit your family for the holidays or something. As soon as you get in the door, you know, your mom or dad hands you a beer. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I was going to actually say along those lines an airplane beer.
On the
plane going to vacation, and it's like, you know what? It's an $8 beer, but I'm going on vacation. Grab me one of those bad boys.
It's one I've never had.
Oh,
I've never had
nothing like it. Nothing like it. It calms you a little bit, because like when you're in a plane and you're bobbling all over the place because there's a big hunk of metal flying through the air that shouldn't be happening, and you're just drinking a beer, everything's right.
Maybe you upgraded to economy before the flight, and you got that little extra leg room, and the beer is included complimentary. And maybe you're on a plane headed to Denver for March. I don't know. That was me about 18 months ago. What a moment that was.
Man.
But I'm sure we're missing some. And I'm curious what our listeners have. Where does
the first beer of a batch that you brewed fall in?
Oh, hit or miss.
Or is that one where you're like too focused on how it is to really appreciate it?
Yeah, usually I'm too nervous and too critical. Like I get really excited because I want to taste it, because I'm curious if it turned out well.
Yeah.
But then it's like I drink it, and you guys saw one of my reactions. I should have done more of them. The pumpkin Hefeweizen actually turned out very good, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's just like I find little things that are wrong with it because it's not perfect. Yeah. I actually enjoy more when someone else drinks my beer and they enjoy it. That's better than any beer I'll have, is when someone's like, wow, this is like Evan, for example, is like, wow, this is a good beer. And I was like, how about that? So, but yeah, no, I don't love, I just get nervous.
Yeah.
I'm looking back at the original tweet from this guy, which is up to 30,000 retweets. It was tweeted February 15th, back when so many of these moments were able to be had. Let's be honest. So many of these moments we're describing aren't really a thing right now. And I'm just kind of going through some of the replies here that I thought I would just point out. One guy had the after round of golf beer.
Ooh, yeah.
Nick and I wouldn't know what that is. We don't play golf.
Yeah.
You're missing out, man. Honestly, even like the middle of a awful round golf beer.
The other person said the midweek probably shouldn't have one beer. Someone really,
John described a little bit.
Someone really tried to, really dampen the mood here with the beer you wish you could have with your dad who's not there anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they just took that to a whole nother level. The heavy snow beer. That's a good. Yeah, that big snowstorm coming into town.
That's a great one.
That's a great beer.
You have like
that's
an
even
day
better
off work.
It's an even better bourbon.
I agree. The beer while you're grilling beer. Outdoor on the grill with the barbecue, whatever else. And I don't want to dig through all these, but those are some really good ones. The heavy snow beer. That might be my favorite one from that list.
That's really good.
That's a good one. Especially like I remember there was a big snowstorm in Washington a few years ago. The one where I was like skiing through the neighborhood, and we like walked down to a brewery and had a beer during the snowstorm, and it was like the most rewarding feeling because you're walking in a heavy coat and you're sweating and you're cold though, and you get down there, you take off, and it's just it's just amazing.
I'm thinking back to college with some of the big snowstorms where we just basically, body surf down the hill to was mutts back then. And, and just walk in there and grab a Yingling or something. That was those moments in life, man. Awesome.
Oh, what a topic.
Yeah, man, so many good. God, I just miss being able to get beers with people. That'd be great.
Yeah.
One day it'll happen.
The first after COVID beer in the pub. I think that's the winner.
Just oh man, need it to happen soon, hopefully. But I don't know. What do you got? Anything else we want to touch on before we?
Big news on the vaccines this week. Some three promising.
Fingers crossed, man.
So
More good
fingers
news
crossed on that.
Get it out by April, May. See what happens by then.
We just
hopefully to us by then. Hopefully to us around.
That's what
the
I mean.
summer.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Hopefully, frontline healthcare workers very, very soon.
Will be interesting. Have you guys read much about it? About the studies that they've done and stuff like that?
A little bit.
Not
I know,
like a ton.
We have to be wary. I don't want to get into details because I don't know enough about it. But like I did read that, I guess some of these vaccines are basically all they do are limit or mild, lessen the symptoms. Basically, you still actually get the virus, but the likelihood of you showing symptoms or having extreme symptoms are super low, which that sort of vaccination is obviously going to be really pertinent among the at-risk population and elderly population, lessening the symptoms. But even with that vaccine, you're still getting it. You're technically still spreading it. So that's not, you're not home clear. So I definitely want to research more of it, but that's just one thing that caught my attention.
I think the fact that there's so many at this point, and there are going to be more that have shown good efficacy rates. I think that's really promising. Again, there are challenges with all of them, like the one that has to be kept at like negative 100 degrees or something. And you have to get 2 doses for it to be effective and all of this stuff. Like, I think there's some real logistical challenges with all of this. But
that's sort of the vaccine, not sorry to interrupt, John, but the one that has to be kept at a super low temperature. That raises concerns because now all of a sudden you're not talking about mass distribution at CVS and local high schools and local churches. You're now needing to convince people to go somewhere else to some sort of a clinic where they have the infrastructure to store them and get a vaccine. And just to be very candid, there is going to be a large portion of this population that is going to be wary to take this vaccine.
Right.
And I think that if it's available at your local church, if it's available at your local high school, it adds credibility to this vaccine and maybe is less intimidating for them to go and take it. If it becomes this thing where you have to go to the health center factory where they've got this freezer to take, I think it's going to scare people away. I shouldn't even say that that's a thing.
But it is, man. No, it is. I read something the other day, and it was someone who's like, the government should pay people to take the vaccine. Like, pay people $1,200 to go take the vaccine. And I thought
that was the one John Delaney, right?
It might have been. It might have been.
Yeah, the former presidential candidate.
Just an interesting thought. Like, that will never happen. But it's a really interesting thought.
It's in the government's best interest if everyone takes it. So it's worth it. It's probably worth that.
The economy. I mean, it's the same thing as like a stimulus or like we all, what do we get, like $1,500 or something, like 5 months, whatever it was, like
$1,200.
Yeah, $1,200. Yep.
So I don't know, but I do think it's hopeful. We talk about all the logistical challenges.
There's a war in your house.
Hudson and Marlowe, I think, just got after it. A good thing I'm hiding in a closet.
There you go.
Anyways, we're talking about all these negative things, but I do think it's a really good thing that there are 3 that we're talking about that are close to market, because it's better than we were at 3 months ago, and I think it's just going to continue to get better and better and better. So, fingers crossed. It'd be great to see you guys in person again soon.
I know. Eventually, we'll get there, but yeah. Other than that, I think that's all we've got for this week, guys. Thanks so much for listening. As always, be sure to check us out on whatever podcast app you listen to. Subscribe to us there. Subscribe to us on YouTube now. Do the the notifications and whatnot for YouTube if you watch that. We're on the road to 1 million. I just want to get one of those cool little plaques that they give people when we get to 1 million. It's gonna be great. But Nick, where can they reach us on social?
One last one for you here, guys.
Oh,
your favorite when your favorite song came on beer. I just thought of that one.
Good one.
maybe you're cooking, maybe you're just hanging out, whatever. Your favorite song comes on. Maybe you're at a bar and you've got a beer. I think that makes the beer taste better. As always, Phoning It In Pod is our handle on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can send us an email at phoningitinpodcast@gmail.com or give us a call, leave a voicemail at 304-627-1889. And let us know. I enjoyed the best beers conversation. I bet our listeners, I know Patrick Alvaro, just to call a few out, I know are going to have some good ones that we probably missed.
Yeah. And I'm glad I was just looking through our email to see if maybe I missed any Google Voice messages or anything like that. And I'm reminded that our phone number will be expiring in a couple of days, so I have to renew it. So good timing on that. Send us a voicemail. It's still up. Let us know what kind of beers you like. But yeah, as always, we're going to give a shout out to Miguel Sevillon for our theme song. Check out Saving Miles Limit on Spotify or Apple Music. And with that, that's all we have for you this week. Thanks everybody for listening. We will see you next time.
Boom, boom.